Go ahead and go to channel. Close that. Close that. Close that. Am I streaming? Nah. What the hell? I'll go ahead and go to channel. Alright. I'm gonna have to rename that later. I don't know why it's on test stream. Okay. Dang it. The hell. Oh, here we go. Alright. Alright, we're live. People should be joining in VC on Discord very soon. That's the server, Nate. I'll send him a screenshot. Okay. Right. Hello to Attack Helicopter Cat, and I'll get that laser pointer. I'll get it. I'll get it. And hi, JC Armitage. How are you both doing this evening? I got a couple of topics. I have to find that. I have to find what I bookmarked. I'm gonna scroll down now. You know you're you're very well informed when you have a really long list of bookmarks of stuff. The heck? Dang it. I thought I had more than that. I'll just go ahead and do this then. I don't care. Open that up. Look towards the very bottom of the list to your left. Maybe I should move this up. Yeah, I should move this whole thing up. That way, so it's easier to find. Come on. Move up. Move up, move up, move up. Move up. I'll put it there. No, move it up a bit further. There. Easier to find. That way it doesn't have to require much slowing down. Close this tab. Okay. Down required anymore. Well, I hope more people join in. I hope that helps. Really? There. There we go. Yeah, I can speak. Yes, yes, yes. Yep, yep. And catechists. Dang it.
There we go.
Yeah. I had to allow different permission things. I had to allow the
Hey,
permissions.
Nate.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
Yeah. Just so you know, the sound is a bit low on the stream on YouTube.
Oh, I'm going to turn up OBS then.
Oh.
Better?
I take it we're live?
Yes, we're live
Yeah.
right now. Better?
Okay, should I do it?
Go ahead.
Is everyone insane?
Is the stream volume better?
Hold on a second. No one say anything. No one say anything. Let me see. It's probably just your mic for
Oh,
some strange reason. I don't know. Because my mic was pretty good.
yeah.
How's mine?
Yours is fine. Hold on, let me turn it
Yeah.
up more. Dang it. Hold on. Maybe I need to turn this up a little bit. Okay. Better?
That should do.
All right. And we got Filthy Heretic near here now.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. Nice to have you. It's been a
Yeah,
while.
I mean, yeah, it really has. I mean, if I'm going to be
We've got
completely
a.
honest, I'm just bored right now.
Oh, well, you've
You just
tuned in
express your
for.
boredom live.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, we're live?
Yeah, we're live right
Yep.
now.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's going on?
I'm about
Tap
to
tact.
get into a topic today that is about the TAPS Act. I've been wanting to stream about this.
Oh, boy, there is a. I mean, have you guys been following the Cool Capitalist Kids streams?
No.
Things have just been getting crazier week by week by week. I mean, me and SO trade stories all the time, and oh my goodness, the amount of stuff for just this week would just blow your mind.
Yeah.
Kind of makes you want to use the rosary, huh?
Well,
I don't,
they want to
but
bring in pre-crime.
Well,
They actually want
yeah.
to full-on legitimize pre-crime.
Well, I mean, that's been, I think, the wet dream of the state for a long time.
Yeah.
To be able to arrest people for no particular reason, and more importantly, to be able to target people who disagree with them, their political opponents, based on reasons that they just can completely make up. I mean, we've
Yeah.
already seen, like, during the Obama administration, that there were manuals being passed around throughout the military, throughout the government in general, labeling people like the Tea Party as radical extremists, while failing to mention, Islamic extremism.
might I add a historical example for a moment?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of brings to mind the Declaration of Barman. In it, the confessing church explicitly said that they were not trying to overthrow anyone or show any sort of disloyalty to Germany. They just saw a bunch of heresies being espoused by the German church and said, hey, enough's enough. And look what happened to them.
I mean, I'm not terribly familiar with what happened to them, but yeah, I think I can see the point you're trying to make. Of course, we have the manual that got leaked from the FBI a few weeks ago, describing any group or individual that comes up or that argues narratives that the state disagrees with to be radical conspiracy theorists and are going to be more likely to engage in mass shootings, because that's the new thing now. I don't know if you guys have been on social media that much. I mean, I haven't, but I've seen other people that have. That seems to be like, ooh, potential mass shooter is the new Nazi.
Well, I do want to bring up on a past stream that I did read something by that loony feminist professor from Kent University in the UK.
You're going to have to be a bit more specific.
Karen Douglas.
Oh, of course her name is Karen.
Yeah.
What'd she say?
Yeah, she went over one of her major studies is into conspiracy theories. As into why conspiracy theories matter, Why do they exist? And she also wanted to address the question, how harmful would conspiracy theories be?
Totally not a conflict of interest at all, is there? To
Yeah.
use Filthy's voice.
But what would she say? Or would she say? Or find? Or whatever?
Um, I'd have to look again on her documents, but basically, she has quite the confirmation bias that conspiracy theories are harmful. And she's also a climate change activist of some sort.
Imagine our shock.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not difficult to see why, because universities, especially in Europe, are basically government subsidized. And so, of course, they'll come to the idea that opinions that people hold are somehow harmful in some way. I mean,
Yeah.
You don't need to be a professor to explain why conspiracy theories, so called, exist. They exist because the government narratives are insufficient to explain events that people have observed. And
Well,
as
not
such, people try
well,
to.
not necessarily, but a lot of the times, yes. But it kind of varies. But
It very much is. I mean, typically what happens is that the government narratives to explain an event are either full of holes, self-contradictory, or just straight up disproven by observable evidence. And thus, people come up with alternative conclusions that have far more explanatory power. Now, how accurate those are is going to vary on a case-by-case basis. Some conspiracy theories, such as the Pizzagate theory, are largely based on extrapolation and, at best, circumstantial evidence and are, at best, inconclusive, whereas other so-called conspiracy theories like Operation Mockingbird,
Yep.
Operation Orion, Operation Paperclip, MK Ultra, Northwoods. Those are just those are not only those have been confirmed by government documents and are completely true. And what's funny is that Project Orion in particular is of interest because, like, I don't know if you guys have been following my channel that closely, but me and SO often talk about how some of the mass shootings are themselves false flags.
manufactured.
Yeah. Either the people or either the shooters themselves are agents or people who are entrapped by a government alphabet soup agency and put up to it. We've more or less confirmed this with the Christchurch shooter, the Parkland shooter, and the El Paso, Texas shooter. You can see this usually the simplest way to tell is to look at the media response and find examples of news articles being published on their websites before the shooting actually happened. I mean, in the case of the El Paso shooter, we have a Fox News host at our local affiliates, an anchor on live TV talking about the event at half an hour before the event started, and even correcting herself at the last minute, saying like, "Oh wait, that hasn't happened yet."
Yeah, I saw that.
It's fairly, but of course, like simply discussing these ideas according to the FBI gives me a more proclivity to be a mass shooter somehow, and as a result, well, this is going to enter the pre-crime database that is going to be built up about me. That somehow me having opinions that the government disagrees with is somehow a crime and makes me more susceptible to what they arbitrarily decide to be pre-crime. Towards this end, well, what pre-crime is and what characterizes pre-crime is going to be ultimately determined by the state. And of course, you can imagine that with that kind of power to literally criminalize your political opponents, you're going to find that the stakes in any given presidential election are going to be higher than ever.
Man, almost makes me wish that we could all just watch the elections and laugh at the times that Beto O'Rourke talks about the women.
I mean, that's here's the thing though, we can still do that. Whether or not this is going to happen is ultimately going to be completely independent of an election. However, this is the narrative that is going to be built up around these elections, that people are going to be voting in order to not only get their political opponents arrested, but also to prevent themselves from being arrested by their political opponents. And as such, well, you're going to find some very, I would say, vicious elections in the next coming election cycles, assuming the state even act lasts that long.
Yeah, it seems like the only winning move here is not to play.
Very much so.
Strange
and of course,
the only move is not to play.
pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we're all on the same page that the voting doesn't work. It doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Democracy.
Yeah, I've learned from my mistake in 2016.
No, actually, I didn't vote in 2016. I voted in 2012.
I didn't vote at all. I never
I
voted.
voted, I voted for Mitt Romney, and yeah.
I can't vote.
Consider yourself fortunate then.
Yeah, I think I don't know who I voted for in 2012, but in 2016, just despite the SJWs, I voted for Trump. Boy, did I make a mistake in voting at all there.
Oh, I was
a
very
huge
happy.
Trump fan. Like I would have voted for him, and I can't believe myself.
Here's the thing, though. I only turned anarchist around, I think, early to mid 2016. Before then, I would not have voted for Trump because, in my opinion, he wasn't libertarian enough.
He was never libertarian to begin with.
I know, right?
Yeah, who is?
Whoever they are, they don't have government. Whoever it is that's libertarian enough, they don't have government jobs and would know better than to run for president.
Even Gary Johnson, in my opinion, is not libertarian enough.
He's not libertarian at all. Are you kidding me?
Like, I mean, actually, you're right about that. Like, yeah,
forget about libertarian
I should have
enough.
worded that differently, but still, yeah, he's not really libertarian per se. John McAfee's so much better. I mean, he's pretty cool, but I don't know. I don't want any president.
He's running as a presidential candidate in exile, and his website literally says, "Don't vote for me."
Yeah.
I mean, the only presidential candidate I would ever consider voting for is Vermin Supreme.
Who's that?
Oh my god, you guys don't know who Vermin Supreme is?
No.
I know of him, but I don't care about him.
He's a guy who dresses like a homeless person with a literal boot on his head and goes around he runs for president every cycle, usually as a Democrat, and he makes all sorts of absolutely insane proposals, all completely deadpan, just to make a mockery of the political process. His most famous proposal is universal free ponies for every American.
He also said he would make it a law that everybody is required to brush their teeth.
That's so stupid. No, okay, I have to be honest though. I haven't brushed my teeth in I don't know. But
brush your teeth, man.
Yeah, do it.
No, but man, I gotta use my fingernails instead, bro.
No, you use a toothbrush, you freaking barbarian.
Maybe.
Or at least mouthwash.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, that's half-assing it. You should probably do both, but yeah, just brush, man.
Okay, well, back to what I was saying about Karen Douglas.
Real quick, I posted something in shitpost, and I just tagged everybody.
Why would you do that?
Just to poke fun of the electoral process.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, look at shitposting real quick.
Yeah, I see.
Wait, let me see.
Anybody but Trump. You know they're going to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those who cannot remember the past, anybody but Bush, anybody but Clinton, anybody but Bush, anybody but Obama, are condemned to repeat it.
Yeah.
I wonder who's the next president's going to be, like, after Trump.
I think by then the United States will have completed its metamorphosis into a hollow state, so it actually won't matter at all. It'll probably be a Democrat though.
Yeah. Also, a quick answer. I don't care.
That's the great thing about being. That's the great thing about being an anarchist is that you get to observe the political process with complete detachment.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's kind of refreshing not to have to defend candidates whom I've never personally met.
What do you guys think?
Okay, you were saying, Marianne?
What do you guys think about the Dan Behrman, something like that?
I mean, you interrupted Marianne.
My bad.
I do want to bring up this one article that Karen Douglas did write about conspiracy theories. It was a claim in which that I remember reading that something about those who believe in conspiracy theories are likely the claim that they are going to be likely involved in low to average everyday crime. And actually, in the article itself, there was something that implied on pre-crime.
Did she provide any statistical evidence to suggest that people who even entertain conspiracy theories, whatever that means,
aliens?
Does that mean that they're more likely to commit, I don't know, robbery?
I think what was specifically, I remember what was added in there was something like wanting to claim refunds on items that they can't have refunds for. It was something really stupid along those lines. That was one example that I remember from reading.
I mean, so a whole bunch of people wanted a refund for Fallout 76, and somehow that makes them believe in MK Ultra.
What? Does this mean that yeah, guys. Does all this mean that that Ancient Aliens, the show, is probably going to be shut down sometime in the future?
Well, I mean, according to the FBI, those people are mass shooters.
Oh boy. I mean, they're crazy. I mean, they're crazy, but not that crazy.
Well, I mean,
it's just some sort of. I mean, it's just some sort of harmless. It's just a bunch of harmless fun to laugh at their expense.
I mean, you know that the pyramids were originally power plants, right?
How?
Well, according to Ancient Aliens, they totally were. They were originally tapped with gold, would collect solar power, and then generate electricity because the pyramids were made of electroreactive materials and conductors. And everybody knows that the ancient Egyptians had a perfect grasp of electromagnetism, as well as electronics and everything, because they would totally have a use for frickin' power plants.
You're serious?
I wish I was joking. I mean, a little bit I am, but only when I'm being sarcastic.
Mm-hmm.
Suffice to say, yeah, these guys are nuts.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think that they're guilty of pre-crimes.
Oh, no. Not by a long shot.
You don't need to justify to anyone having an opinion, since opinions are passive. simply thinking something is harmless, doesn't create any victims. And of course, we all know why that the FBI is so interested in pre-crimes. They look at what's going on in China with their social credit system, and they look at it with envy rather than disgust. They want to be able to decide what people can and cannot do, whether or not they are legally allowed to travel, what property they are not allowed to own.
Yeah. All the while, they forget that there is a massive crypto market in China, which I'm willing to bet some house churches, as a result of missionary work, are probably using right now in a counter economy.
Oh, the counter economy, to the best of my recollection, in China is absolutely massive. And this is in the same situation where, the legal status of crypto is in a very strange state in China because it's banned, but it's also kind of not. It's, I would say, heavily restricted. However, that doesn't stop China from just having this gigantic counter economy. Easily China makes up the plurality of Bitcoin exchanges, and the overwhelming majority of crypto mining occurs in China. There's actually a good reason for that. It's because that in several of the areas in China that the state is trying to develop, they artificially reduce the cost of electricity in order to encourage development. And what ends up happening is that crypto miners bring their giant ass rigs to China in order to take advantage of cheap electricity.
Hey guys.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
So don't mind me if you don't mind me asking, what are you guys talking about at the moment?
You're just talking about China and why there's a giant ass crypto market there.
Yeah, I'm the one that brought it up.
And
that reminds me, Filthy. I'm actually trying to convince my home church to start developing its own counter economy. How would you suggest I go about doing that?
Well, first off, just exchange stuff. Start doing it yourself. It's very simple. Do you have something to buy or sell?
Okay, can you repeat that? I didn't catch the whole thing.
Do you have something to buy or sell?
Well, I can sell my ability to write to someone, but I've been trying to find, but I'm not sure who would want my services in my locality.
Well, try to find someone who has a need of a technical writer, some kind of maybe even social media manager, someone who needs advertising blurbs written. Try to be creative with it, and then sell your services in cash and offer a 20% discount using crypto. Boom. That's a counter economy. People, you're probably overthinking what a counter economy is. It's just people exchanging goods and services.
It can be as simple as children exchanging lollipops.
Yeah, and if you know how in wintertime kids will sometimes offer to shovel people's driveways for cash?
I've actually been growing some vegetables alongside one of my mainly tomatoes. We just went through all of them by now. We've been growing them for the spring and summer.
Well, there you go. Just expand your vegetable growing operations and sell them to your community. Sell to them for cash and offer discounts for crypto. The whole point of offering discounts for crypto is to encourage them to use it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then after that, it's like once it's more profitable for people to buy tomatoes from you, especially if they use crypto, they'll probably want to figure out ooh, this crypto thing is actually pretty cool. I wonder what else I can do with it. And of course, you can, as a business partner, you can use this as an opportunity to explain some of your ideas. Kind of like what the Apostle Paul did.
Oh, I did not. It wasn't really a business venture. We just wanted something homegrown to eat.
Well, yeah, you should probably consider growing your vegetables and then growing your vegetables not only for yourself but in order to sell them.
Yeah, but writing I could probably accomplish a bit easier since I already have the tools for that.
Yeah, so
it's mainly like fiction, because with nonfiction I tend to do some research, and if I, yeah.
All right. Zachary. I got something from JC Armage. He's saying, "Hey Zach, remember that Max guy we debated on my 2 Senses server? Well, he tried to tell me."
Max Cole. Oh yeah, Max Cole from Red Pill Religion. I knew it was a bad idea. Yeah, I knew it was a bad idea to join his server and YouTube chat thing. Red Pill Religion. Their main focus is to debunk atheistic remarks and such. I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but when that defines your every being, that could be a problem.
Yeah, he adds that he tried to tell JC that the state was controlling the counter economy in China.
How?
That's literally impossible.
That's impressive if they did that.
Oh, that ain't the worst of it. Max also said that the banks want us on crypto for some imperceptible reason that he never explains.
Well, the main reason I can think of is because the banks desire a digital currency. And of course, the reason why they want a digital currency should be obvious. It would allow them to basically print money, so to speak, with absolute impunity. Since before, when you had currency that was backed by gold, in order to inflate the monetary supply, you would have to increase the supply of gold. Now that we're completely off of any gold standard or any backing of the currency at all they have to do is print additional notes in order to be able to inflate the supply. And of course, they need to inflate the supply in order to pay for stuff. However, their ability to print is limited entirely by the capacity for printing by the printing presses. So what they need what they want a digital currency for is in order to inflate the supply, all they have to do is
filthy. He said the banks want us on cryptocurrency, not the fiat. It's like, okay, why would...
I'm getting to that. I'm just laying the groundwork here. So a digital currency, as I was just explaining, is far easier to explain, or is far easier to inflate than a fiat printed money. We both understand this, right?
Right.
So the mistake that a lot of people who are saying that the banks want us on cryptocurrency make is they assume that a cryptocurrency is just a digital currency. Now, of course, it's easy to see why, because crypto is a digital currency. So therefore, it must be the fabled digital currency that these banks are after. But the difference is that crypto has a set supply cap. I believe that there will ever be a total of, if I recall correctly, 18 million Bitcoins in existence. And after the last coin is mined, well, that's it. You're not going to print anymore.
That's the point that's the point we've been making, and he would not listen.
And of course, if he's not listening, that means he's not really curious about any solutions, in which case you should pretty much just disregard him altogether. But yeah, he's conflating cryptocurrency with a digital currency. I think he just hears the word crypto and doesn't really understand what that means. He just says, in his mind, he just thinks like digital currency, cryptocurrency, they're exactly the same. Plus, you can see state-run agencies have also been using the term cryptocurrency to describe digital currencies that are not crypto at all. For example, Ripple and Facebook's old proposed Libra coin, which don't have supply caps, are not encrypted, and are basically honeypots.
Yeah,
Those
who
are-
uses them anyway? Who uses them?
Boomers.
Ripple, I don't know. Ripple actually launched, though I don't think it's that popular for obvious reasons. And Libra has not launched yet, and by all accounts is crashing and burning even before it starts, which is good. But yeah, the state is trying to create a lot of confusion in regards to what is a cryptocurrency and what's not.
Mhm.
And it's worth keeping. This is worth keeping in mind that it's just going to be a whole bunch of people who, like Max Colby, who are going to be confused as to what a cryptocurrency is, and as such are going to be a lot more reluctant to adopt it. This is, of course, to their own detriment.
I don't think anyone other than boomers are going to use, the Facebook one, because there's only boomers on Facebook really that would ever care enough to use.
Yeah, pretty much. Boomer. It's a Libra coin is just going to be a boomer coin, though I don't think it's going to get launched anymore because a lot of the Libra coin's main investors have pulled out hard, and I don't think it's going to launch.
Yeah, let's just call it boomer coin.
That'd be a good. I like that actually.
No, but like seriously though, boomer coin is like a way better name.
Yeah, I mean it's fairly accurate to what it is.
Oh, mind if we check? Since we're streaming this on OBS, is anyone saying anything in the live chat right now?
Yeah, he does. JC did say a couple of things about Max Kolb. He said that he didn't know, never explained how, but Max was also advocating for labor vouchers, and he also, at the time, mentioned Ripple and Libra, and he called them cyber fiats.
Well, Ripple and Libra are cyber fiats.
Yeah.
That's accurate. However, the problem is that he thinks there's an equivalency between Libra and Bitcoin.
Yeah. To clarify, Max Colby, as JC explained, Max was trying to say labor vouchers. Like, okay, are we suddenly going with labor theory of value here? What?
Yeah. What?
Well, first off, how many vouchers is one labor worth? What even is one labor?
Yeah, it's not even measurable.
Anyone who's ever wage cocked knows full well that not all employees are going to have equal levels of productivity.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked for a wage at Meyer. It's like, okay, not all labor is the same.
It's really not. And of course, what's going to end up happening is that people are only going to work as much as it gives them a labor voucher, and they're not really going to have much of an incentive to, be productive.
Yeah.
At that point, you might as well call labor vouchers money.
I mean, it's absolutely hilarious. I've had these discussions with Marxists in the past who have tried to argue for the voucher system. I'm just like, oh, no, it's not money at all. Well, let's see here. You have a universal medium of exchange that is portable, fungible, and divisible, right? And it can be used in order to acquire goods and services.
Well, there you go then. It's money.
It's money. It's a current. So therefore, this is a currency. No, it's not currency.
So from there,
it's a labor voucher.
So from their perspective, it should devolve into capitalism.
Guess so. I mean, I don't even know. I'm pretty sure you're all familiar with. It's just going to devolve into markets. Basically, it's going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
And there's not a damn thing I can do about it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You're always going to have kulaks.
All right.
By the way, heretic. Considering that the Canadian parliamentary ritual is coming up, when are you going to do a how authoritarian on Maxime Bernier?
On who?
Maxime Bernier.
Who the hell is that?
Let me grab his website for you.
Oh, by the way, that reminds me, Filthy, when are you going to do the tyranny scale again?
Hopefully soon, but right now I'm
That was exactly what I was asking for.
Marcus was student council president, a straight A student, and was dating the most popular, most purest girl in the school until his hippie classmates forced him to inject more marijuana.
What?
Look at the shit posting channel.
Okay.
Okay, what?
Oh
I'll
my!
expand this for everyone in the live chat to read.
What is it even saying?
It's saying like, yeah, don't inject one marijuana.
Not even
Otherwise-
once.
Not even once. Otherwise, you basically turn to Otherwise, you basically turn to a younger version of Snoke.
We do not speak of that saga.
Oh, yes, we do. We
So
speak
a
about
heretic. Here is his party's platform. If you want to do a how authoritarian is he with that?
I'll probably just put up the Canadian flag and give him a 200%.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
he might actually surprise you.
I mean, it'd be surprising if he gets.
I think
Maybe he's going to talk about the whammies and nothing else.
One is no, the truly authoritarian one. He's the truly off the wall one.
I mean, it's called the People's Party. Of course, it's authoritarian.
Yep. Because
well, all parties are authoritarian to some extent or another.
Oh
Yeah, but typically, if your party name or your country name includes the words Democratic, People's, or Republic in its name, it's going to be authoritarian.
Yep.
If you have all three of the above, then you're literally North Korea.
Okay. Then how about Labour?
Labour is
the Labour Party of Britain.
That's also going to be very authoritarian. However, Labour isn't usually mixed in with Democratic People's Republic, though.
Oh well. But no, seriously, take a look. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, it's referencing a whole bunch. I'm browsing through some of the proposals, and it's referencing a whole bunch of laws that I know nothing about.
Yeah, because well,
law studies is such a bad subject. It's so useless.
Let's see what about.
You have up that I think first introduced the tap system by Tyler Durden of ZeroHedge.com. Anyone else gone over it already, or?
I haven't
haven't
seen the article yet.
I have not. No, not me.
No.
This is from May of earlier last year. I will put it in. I guess I'll put it here on shitposting. I guess that's where I currently am. So.
Okay.
All right. So there it is.
Well, it may as well be.
Yeah, I love that that image there of the crystal ball and
Oh
police
yeah.
badge. It's
Yeah, pretty
hilarious.
much.
Mhm.
Police are not your friends. Just assume that they're there to kill you.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but this is what we were talking. This is what we were talking about at the beginning of the stream. That ultimately they're going to use all sorts of ridiculous pre-crime systems to try to figure out who is a pre-criminal and who's not, and arrest them accordingly, or at the very least restrict their economic
won't.
freedom.
Yeah.
accordingly. This is
They will
ironically
either
a social credit
kill
system.
you, kidnap you, or steal. They will either kill you, kidnap you, or steal from you. The three fundamentals of what we're against.
Pretty much. Although I think it's going to be different than the social credit system, because the social credit system in China is designed specifically to encourage civil citizenship
Pressure
and
people. Yeah.
good civil participation. Whereas this is going to be put forward for our own safety,
quote unquote.
It's for our own good. You see.
yeah, that's same old excuse.
Yeah.
Like, okay, guys, reality check. You are not God. Stop trying to do his job, please.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so this, the TAPS Act was first introduced in January of this year. It would take law enforcement screenings to a whole new level. It would create a national threat assessment of children and adults. In the course of
Why children?
This year.
Well, get them while they're young.
Pretty much. You know what they're going. You know this is going to be a.
This year
this is going to be implemented into government schools as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to be changing government school victims' grades based on their citizenship scores.
Yeah, it's not the first time.
Year is
Hold on. It's not the
They
first.
basically
This year's literally something.
No, hold on. She's not finished.
It's not the first time in which personality profiling assessments were disguised as academia. It's not the first time that's happened.
And it won't be the last time either.
This year is literally something out of. This year's literally something out of Psychopaths. Pre-crime. Yeah.
Okay. And anyway, dang it, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought.
Oops.
Oh yeah. I reckon they're going to be abolishing homeschooling real soon, are they?
Yes and no. I mean, it doesn't seem. I haven't seen any movements or any calls from state actors that would suggest that they're going after homeschooling. Right now, it seems to be okay. But right now, I'm actually more concerned about what they're going to be doing in government schools.
Yeah, and the private.
It's not the United States government's modus operandi to ban things anyway. Typically, what they like to do is to. And so much red tape that parents would even consider homeschooling their kids. It'll report to the Ministry of Education. Freaking hell.
It is extremely difficult to have a decent education while being homeschooled. It's basically a monopoly.
Yeah.
Well, what they want to do is they want to maintain their monopoly, and even today, if you do want to homeschool your kids, you're still forced to pay for government education through your property taxes.
Yeah.
So you're basically paying for education twice. Good work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, okay, so in my English class, we were supposed to write an essay about our career choice or whatever, and I just really didn't care all that much because I mean I do, but also I would put it this way, I don't want government school to get involved in my education, and a lot of people say that doesn't make any sense at all, but but basically instead of doing that, I wrote an essay about how government schooling is a monopoly.
I would have just written, if I were given that assignment now, I would just write I want to be a police officer because I want to be able to crush filthy minorities' heads in on the curb and be able to do it for free without any repercussions at all because I'm a psychopath.
Bruh.
Oh no, you're not doing it for free. You're getting paid for it.
I was kind of losing my train of thought when I said for free. So yeah, I want to be paid. I want to be paid to murder filthy minorities to do the job that Planned Parenthood failed to do.
And of course, it's just shit posting to pick them off.
Of course.
Oh my!
And I also want to be able to be a police officer so that I can beat my spouse without any repercussions.
40%.
And also, I really
doing the
hate
thing
dogs.
that's minimum wage. Oh my! Doing
don't forget the
doing
pension.
the job that minimum wage failed to do. Oh my!
Do it is that the welfare state failed to do. It is that the welfare state and Planned Parenthood failed to do, and that is kill black kids. It's going to be absolutely horrible. I know someone's going to clip this out of context, but yeah, that would just be like the ultimate government anti-government shitpost essay. Someone is definitely gonna clip this. And I'm gonna hear about it in like 5 months' time. Oh, a heretic wants to kill minorities.
Razor,
I'm gonna
watch
bring
the
it
whole
up
thing, you nitwit.
With you and
Yeah. Well,
Watch the whole thing, you nitwit.
The context is I was criticizing police by writing an essay as though I were a police officer because I'm a horrible person.
Yeah. In other words,
up whenever I meet with you. Oh well.
You're interrupting a lot.
Techno. All right. Now, can I say what I was going to say?
Yes.
In other words, watch the whole thing, you nitwit.
Pretty much.
All right.
Bring it up whenever I'm with you.
Okay, what was that, Marianne?
Techno, you were saying.
I'm gonna bring it up when I find myself next to Heretic. And of course, probably Discord's complete and utter ape shit.
Well, I think we beat
past.
I think we beat the horse of taps enough. Let's pick another topic.
Okay. How about anything else related to it?
Let me just dig up one of the stories that me and Esso trade around.
All right, sure.
Give me a minute here.
Oh, I think
Okay,
I got
go. So let's see here. I'm just pulling up the article right now. So according to a recent poll by Harvard, 57% of Americans would blame President Trump if the U.S. slid into a recession in the next year, and only 33% would blame the Fed. Similarly, in terms of what people blame for the volatility of the stock markets, 35% said Trump's announcements, 30% said U.S. China trade tensions and tariffs, and 14% say Fed interest rate policy. So,
can I say all of the above? Because it kind of is all of the above.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I posted the article in shitposting so you can see for yourself. It also has the polls on the front. But I bring this up because, well, I'm noticing that there's a new narrative being built around I'm pretty sure you've all seen how the mainstream media is trying desperately to say that a recession is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And like expert after expert saying like, oh yeah, these are all signs of a recession, blah, 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 blah. Well, I think that what they're trying to do is they're trying to pin it on Donald Trump. And another thing that's interesting is that they're starting to see people calm down, Techno. What they're trying to see, or what they're trying to say, is that Donald Trump is a libertarian, that he's a free marketer, that he's someone who was massively trying to get the government out of the way of the economy. This, of course, is blatantly not true, but the fact of the matter is that that's a narrative they're going to try to build, that Donald Trump is going to be the fault of the recession, and libertarianism is also going to be the cause of the recession. So therefore, what we need to do to make sure that recessions never happen again is to get the government more involved in the economy. The problem, you see, is that you have too much free association. You have too much ability to decide what to do with your own money, and the government needs to fix that. Of course, it does show like how effective our own messaging is being. We have 33% of people in the United States. That's like 1/3 of people, at least who responded to this poll, saying that, yeah, it was the Fed, which, yes, it's the Fed.
You'd have to say it's kind of evidenced by that they're dropping interest rates again.
Well, the fact of the matter is that the fact of the matter is like they have to drop interest rates. It's pretty much the only thing that's keeping the gravy train of our zombie economy going.
Just let interest rates be putting like other things like the price of bread and what.
Well, what's going on
Just
is
leave it
that
up to the market.
what's going on is that people, businesses, organizations are so over leveraged on debt that they simply don't have any more, that people just simply lack the spending power they used to. And we're seeing this also in terms of the retail apocalypse. Like me and Esso were talking about last week, how just this year, 12,000 stores have closed. It's an absolute catastrophe in terms of the retail apocalypse. People just don't have money anymore. They're over leveraged on debt, and that's largely going to be the driving force behind the next economy. It's going to be a debt bubble. It's going to be an everything bubble, actually. But the only way they can keep it postponed is to keep interest rates down, and this encourages people to spend rather than save. You'll see people talking about negative interest rates as well, which just means that instead of you paying the bank to take out a loan, the bank pays you to take out a loan. And of course, it costs money to you to save money at that bank.
Yeah, that's why I keep most of my assets outside the bank these days. Anyway, can I say something, Techno?
Go on.
Yeah, that's why I am keeping most of my stuff outside the banks now. It's like, why take the risk? I mean, I'm going to be hit with that eventually, so may as well prepare for the worst. Sorry.
It's all right.
You were saying, Techno?
Look at Japan and how their rate is faring. All the working people are still dirt poor, but they have to themselves since they spend 100-hour work week. Where else?
I think that
if you have no need for home.
I think that may owe more to how. I think that may owe more to how they try to emphasize harmony in society than anything, because they want to fit in, so they'll try to work more in order to oppress everybody, and yeah. I mean, I might be oversimplifying it, but
Well, how else can you make it if you're saving all your assets in a bank interest rate? There's save any money. You are, in fact, if anything, your money is being.
Well, one thing, obviously,
the only way
negative interest rates means that you definitely do not want to have your assets saved in a bank. Like that's just absolutely idiotic. So I think it's going to result in a bank run. But in order for it to work, I was actually talking to a family member who works in banking and has been, well, more in tune with what's going on in the banking world than I am. And he's pointed out to me something that's going to be very important that determines whether or not we have negative interest rates, at least in the US. So Europe already has negative interest rates. And we've seen that the rate of lending in Europe from banks with negative interest rates has actually gone down because, of course, banks lose money when they take out loans with negative interest rates. That just makes sense. But one thing that you absolutely positively have to look out for is a law that will require IRAs and 401ks to be put into treasury bonds. It's going to be small. It's going to be small at first, like 0.5% or something like that. But when there is a law that it requires pension funds, like as I said, IRAs and 401ks, to be put into treasury bonds, and that gets put into law, that is when we're going to have negative interest rates. Because the banks need to plunder those pension funds in order to be able to fund their loans. This is absolutely essential. Is what I'm saying make sense?
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody's going to try to blame everything on the filthy other side.
Well, yeah. I mean, what's going to end up happening is that the state is going to try to blame. It's not going to really going to be. They're not really going to blame the other side. I mean, they kind of are, but they're going to blame the other side in largely the same way. So in 2008, if you recall, after the financial crisis and some more restrictions on people's voluntary economic activity, then this thing could have been prevented. So what they're
when in reality, that's what it caused it to begin with.
Yes, it was. It was the government that caused it, not the banks. But that's going to be the narrative they're going to go with. It's the same Hegelian problem reaction solution. Problem reaction solution. They create the problem. Yes, they create the problem. People freak out about the problem, and then they propose a solution. And end up just creating the problem to begin with. Of course. Truth be told, we actually have another housing bubble, if you can believe it.
Oh, crud.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's funny because we never actually recovered from the last recession. So the fact that there is a housing bubble now, even though the real estate sector has not recovered at all, indicates like just how screwed people are. This is going to be absolutely disgusting. What's going to happen?
Depression 2.0.
No.
Great Depression 2.0.
No. This is going to make the Depression look simple by comparison. The way I see it, there's a good chance we're looking at a collapse, like a hard reset of the economy, like collapse of the Roman Empire levels of economic destruction.
So what happens when we're still in debt at that time?
Typically what's going to happen is that banks are going to be calling in their debts. Everybody's going to owe everything to someone. And of course, nobody's going to actually have anything that they need to keep the lights on. What's going to be interesting is that, well, how the central banks respond and what happens to riots in terms of people who are in debt suddenly getting the screws put on them by banks. Not because the banks are evil, greedy, or malicious. And so I think you're going to be looking at some incredibly, incredibly significant economic destitution, especially when the central banks start calling in their debts.
Cryptarchus type.
thing.
Guys, I think racism is racist. Well,
Well, no
crap.
dip, Sherlock.
No kidding. Yeah.
I mean, I'm convinced. Yeah.
Well, anyway,
I really just
back to
did
the.
that for the meme, but I'm so glad you guys responded to that. That was hilarious.
I mean, but anyway, back to what I was saying. So, in other words, everyone with debt is probably going to wind up not having anything.
Yeah, it's just utter insanity.
Filthy.
It's going to be utter insanity.
Filthy.
Yes.
I asked the same question twice.
I'm sorry, I must have missed it.
I asked, so in other words, anyone with debt is going to wind up not having anything because of that?
It depends on how much debt they have, but there's a good chance, like if you're over leveraged on debt, if you have more debt than you have assets, then you'll probably be wiped out. If you have like small amounts of debt, then you might be okay. But the optimal position is to not have any debt at all. Don't have a credit card at all.
I'm screwed.
You're in debt, aren't you?
Yes.
Get out of it as quickly as possible. Pay down as much of it as you possibly can as quickly as possible. Make that your priority.
I'll try.
Yeah. Because they're gonna try to they're gonna try to take your stuff once those debts start to get called in.
College readiness teachers be like, pay off your debts.
I mean, that's the first thing you should do. I mean,
debt with money that's based off of debt. So
yeah. Now, fun thing is, like, if you have a bunch of rich who declare bankruptcy, all of those banks have to not.
Botting out big time.
Not again. There's no reason why I should be botting.
I hear you fine.
Yay. Yeah, just don't have debt. Do the best you can to get out of it if you are in it.
Yeah. Let's move on to something a bit more fun since we talked about a bunch of tragic stuff. Marianne, you know what I'm gonna request. Florida Man.
Okay, might as well play the theme song first.
If only I had my
2019 opened.
If only I had my Marlins cap. All right.
There you go.
Got the song?
Yeah. Anyone can hear it?
No, I can't hear it.
Hold on. I gotta fix something then. Dang it.
I posted a story and shit posting of Florida Man being a hero. Who's attempting to be a hero.
Bruh, I'm a Florida man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you live in a portal to Russia.
Yeah, we just have legislation that allows media outlets to have.
Okay, we'll just go to the Florida Man then.
Let's just Yeah, let's just read
Just
the
saying,
headline. Anyway.
Still funny, though.
Let's Cryptarch. Let's just read the headline. Another man arrested for attempting to barbecue child molesters. Puerto Rico's plan to burn and kill sex offenders was thwarted when police arrived too soon. Yeah, that's not funny. That's just sad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's sad because he was thwarted.
Yeah. Okay, let's try to find a funny one.
Yeah, I'm on one of the Florida Man Twitters right now.
I got one.
I got one. Okay, Heretic, you go first.
Florida man throws urine on prosecutor during sentencing hearing.
Oh, that is stupid.
How do you throw urine on someone? Unless you put in like a bag.
Girate.
You piss in a jar and you throw the jar.
Get out of court.
Okay.
I got one.
Girate, of course.
The prosecutor is now vulnerable to mini crits, and it's amazing.
Mind if I speak of my little Florida man experience? I mean, it's not a headline, but
Okay.
okay. Trust me. Okay, as I was driving home, I think it was tailgating, so I was like, what the heck are you doing? Because he kept creeping up on me. Dude, do you realize there's a speed limit here? Well, I'm just thinking in my head, and he could not really hear me even if I did say anything. And when I stopped at the traffic signal, he went straight around me and crossed at a red light, and the license plate said that he was from Florida.
True story?
True story. I'm not making that up.
Wow.
I mean, a guy from Florida in Indiana. Who knew?
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, I'm
That's great.
Was he wearing a parka?
I don't know. I never saw his face.
Was he
As
wearing
a
a heavy
Florida
winter
man,
coat?
parkas are kind of cool, not gonna lie.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, if you've lived in Florida all your life, then you're going to go to some place where it gets down to 70, and you're going to think like it's absolutely frigid.
I got one. This one's stupid funny. Florida man threatens neighbors with
70
nunchucks.
where I live is just
Okay, let her finish. Say that again, Maria.
All right, Florida man threatens neighbors with nunchucks, hits himself on the head.
Oh man.
Yo, okay, I just looked up. I just got on Twitter, and burger is trending. It's the hashtag for Northern Ireland versus Germany.
All right, this one has to be fake. It can't be real. Florida man who allegedly threatened family with Coldplay lyrics ends standoff after SWAT promises him pizza.
Here, Florida man charged with threatening to kill 3 Democratic lawmakers.
How's that funny?
What's wrong with that?
Well,
I think it's OP.
exactly.
Florida man stops street fight by running everyone over.
Man.
Oh my.
Man, that's definitely overkill.
Oh,
Yeah.
Florida kid eats straws to save the turtles in the oceans.
I remember seeing that one.
Oh my.
Imagine eating straws.
Let's see here.
I got another one. Florida man drove recklessly before crashing into power pole, flees on foot, and hides down the street in bushes, gets arrested after it's discovered he's not a bush.
That's nice.
Wow.
Florida man wears "fuck the police" shirt in court, wins case.
Oh, that's glorious.
Maybe not funny, but
That is glorious.
Florida man breaks into Wendy's, cooks burger, then steals safe.
oh my, this one's perfect.
Florida man in Spider-Man mask steals bottles from liquor store.
Florida
student
smart.
Florida student hacks into school, announces mandatory penis inspection.
I've heard about that.
Nasty.
God.
Florida man in "No, seriously, I have drugs" t-shirt arrested for possession of drugs.
Kids are actually like, they would probably do that. Not gonna.
Florida man claims he didn't steal and only ate the free half of Slim Jims on sale for 50% off.
What? No.
Florida man.
Oh, no.
You need to take a look at this one.
All right. Man acquires
Florida man
200
suspected of using private planes.
Oh my god.
Okay, let's one at a time, please. One at a
One
time.
at a time.
Gone.
Filthy?
Florida man acquires 275-gallon container of lube, secedes from the USA.
Why can't every individual secede from the USA?
Oh my.
Oh gosh.
Oh, boy.
Florida man using private plane to draw a giant radar penis.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that one. That's
Man, somebody's bored. Somebody's bored.
This smart car thing is definitely something a lot of people here would do.
Here's
Or
one.
anywhere for that matter.
I got one. Florida man arrested after hitting his dad with pizza because he was mad he helped birth him.
Did he catch it with his teeth? That'd be hilarious.
Florida here's some claims Burger King puts dirt on his food. Investigation reveals it was seasoning. Oh my, really?
The investigation reveals what?
Investigation seasoning.
Bruh.
Florida man threatens to conquer Earth with his army of turtles.
That's wonderful.
Oh, they're so cute. I mean, it was just like, oh, hey, conquer the world with cuteness. Who'd have thunk? That'd be up Marianne's alley with a key cat.
Florida couple arrested for selling tickets to heaven.
Oh, that's nice.
Florida man tries
Counter
to
economy.
run in shop while wearing transparent bag on his head. Nice disguise, man.
Let's see if I can find any. Oof. Florida man breaks into house. Florida man breaks into house, makes breakfast, tells homeowner to go back to sleep.
Oh no!
Florida, ready for this one?
This one.
Okay, go ahead, Filthy. Go ahead, Filthy.
Population.
Florida man dials 911 and demands a ride home to change his underwear.
Oh gosh!
Just get a taxi. Just get a taxi. Florida man apparently painting anti-Hillary messages on Tampa Bay crabs.
Well, you gotta feel bad for the crabs. Let's be honest.
That's wonderful. Like actually, like no, like
Then again, we do
that,
boil
like,
crabs
put
though.
taxation is theft on the crabs.
Florida man shot in head complains about a headache.
Bruh.
Okay, you're shot in the head. You're going to have a headache.
Well, according to the story, the guy didn't know that he was shot.
How on earth does that happen?
How?
Oh, here's the reason. The wife tried to kill him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Florida man
and a nice
to hang out with his
Florida man.
friends.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Techno.
Florida man denies drinking and driving. It says he
I've seen this one.
swigged bourbon at stop signs.
I found one.
Well, you're technically not drinking and driving. Florida man leaves job at Burger King, steals all their nuggets because.
Anyway, you tell him, Marianne.
Because fuck it.
Yeah, I got one. Florida man goes viral for headbanging during hurricanes while hoisting an American flag.
Oh, that is epic. That is epic.
Wait, what happened?
Hardcore, man.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what happened?
Of course, headbanging during one of the hurricanes, waving an American flag.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Of course.
I would do that, but with like a Gadsden flag with the ANCAP flag or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, I was going to say, of course, if he had actually perished in that, I bet Postal Cat would get a major laugh at it in the form of a Darwin Award.
Florida man stabs tourist despite.
What's that, Techno?
Like how?
I'm sorry.
Florida man stabs tourist despite having no.
You cut off.
Of course, Discord. Why are you being a piece of shit? And runs Discord.
Florida man breaks into neighbor's home to pet their cat.
Oh my.
Okay, I think we did enough Florida Man for a while.
Yeah.
Let's move on to something else.
Yeah, I gotta go now.
Okay.
All
Later,
right, see ya.
That's fun.
Yep. Thanks for letting me stay.
Yep. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Bye.
To come back
Anytime.
on
Bye.
next week
It's
or
the
whatever.
heretic.
Yep. Okay. Tech, wasn't there something that you wanted to talk about? Something about Canada law? Or something?
Remember. It may have been something about how ridiculous schools can be, where if you if you live and your child goes to elementary school and a teacher, you're playing with the toys of the opposite sex, quote unquote, because, well, hey, stereotypes be damned. They can basically take and force them into a sex.
Into its sex change.
Yeah,
right?
that's how ridiculous it is.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You know, I recently saw this video by Truthstream about these propagandists trying to push that it's okay to be a cannibal or eat insects or um like there was like these different reports that were covered like eating food that wasn't really food, quote, plant
Oh,
based,
right.
end quote,
Oh, right.
Soylent Green,
Right. Dave
basically.
Cullen talked about this. Yeah, Dave Cullen talked about this. To how ridiculous the environmentalist alarmist law.
Yeah, and these
Stop having children
alarmists.
because
hmm
go on.
And these alarmists, they push onto saying be a cannibal or eat insects or even eat your pets, or else it's like Agenda
Stop having
21 is
children.
pushing this crap, this disgusting crap.
Yeah.
It just disgusted me
Stop
so
having children,
much.
especially if you're white.
Oh,
Which
Bill Gates,
okay, you are clearly showing your. Hmm.
something Bill Gates did. He wasted a lot of money on a project that made human feces drink like a drinkable water fluid. Ew.
Ugh.
Yeah, and we all know that he's not going to drink it
Oh, if you could
himself.
filter it out enough, sure.
He's not going to drink it.
I mean, why would he even?
Well, the thing
Why
is, we
would he
already
even
filter out
waste
our
money on that
sewage.
project in the first place?
So,
Yeah.
not for probably to bring fresh third world, but then yet again,
Oh, look in shit posting that JC
right,
posted.
right. Uh, we're we're
Yeah, Bill Gates is so not going to drink that poop water for the same reason where when he put a
Poop
lot
dude.
of money into Rotten Core, but never sent his kids to do that curriculum.
Bro, why is the internet
Hmm.
so garbage? Like it keeps cutting off.
I don't know.
I'll just say I don't know. I'm not going to attribute it to CIA spooks.
Mm.
And yes, I'm talking.
Hmm. Oh, I have not seen the whole thing, but what did you guys think about the recent debate between Esso and Hoplu?
Well, I did notice that. Well, did anyone see Nate's? It's very good, very interesting. I really liked it. Apparently, Walter Block was friends with Murray Rothbard.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. It was Murray Rothbard that actually helped convert away from statism to well, he was like
Libertarianism.
a Bernie bro, like back in his day in high school or something. And after meeting Murray Rothbard, um, within 5 minutes he became anarchist. That's what he said.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's
Legit out economics, and they are going to become libertarian.
and it was funny when
Go on.
he said his only quote criticism end quote was stomach cramps because he said Murray was so funny, and he laughed so hard that he had stomach cramps. Yeah, that guy's funny. Walter. We also said something funny in jest to Heartless Soy Boy. Yeah, you gotta check it out. It's really great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wait, I think we should discuss public schooling because that's a really big issue, and I have firsthand experience
Yeah, I had experience with it all my life, almost.
How old are you?
I've suffered through it
27.
for 12 years.
27. What?
14.
Oh, good luck, sucker.
Yep, I'm a freshie.
You have 4 years ahead of you. You have another 4 years ahead of you.
Yeah, like, bleh.
I
But
did
technically,
look
you'll be able
quite
to
a bit
drop out
into.
at 16 with no one coming after you.
Okay, you're saying, Maria?
I did look into public schooling. Looked quite a lot into it from the past up to the present. Thanks to Anita Hogue, I have a book about her. It's called Education for the New World Order by Beverly K. Eckman. It's very informing, unsettling read, but I recommend it. And especially looking up what they looked at, like about the Delphi technique, which was a psychological warfare technique that was developed by the Rand Corporation during the Cold War, and they used this to brainwash the teachers, so they could for the teachers to brainwash the students. And
Well,
also,
when Rockefeller decided to push for public education in the States, to create a world of thinkers, he wanted to create a world of people who would do his dirty work for him.
yeah. I want a world with workers, not thinkers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And David Coleman. Sack of shit he is.
What do you say?
David Coleman, he was the head architect for Common Core. I call it Rotten Core.
I
And
think you should not ask what did he say. You should, probably ask how did you come into existence.
yeah, I think he was a lobbyist or something, or had something to do with lobbying, well, because it's been revealed that he never really taught taught in a classroom, and he was smugly talking about teachers having to teach the test, and he said that there's no amount of hand waving that would make that go away. And this David Coleman, he is still the head of the college board, and he also did something to the SATs. He changed them to go along with the rotten.
Oh, wow.
That reminds me. The other day, actually last Friday, I think it was, we had some pre-debate. Wasn't too formal in my debate class, and I, being the libertarian kid I am, or was, whatever. I, I didn't say it's. I only said two things the entire time, and really, the entire thing wasn't even really a debate. It was really more or less just a regurgitation of some statistics we wrote down like two days beforehand on each side, and we had to defend whichever side we were assigned to. I'm just like, oh, fuck that shit. I'm not doing that. That's retarded. So I spoke up at one point, and it was actually used up my own team's time to explain economics. And then people, this one kid was like, dude, shut the fuck up. shut the fuck up. And then, and people kept hazing me, but either way, and then everyone like started laughing, but like the entire class was just so boring before that. It's just, allow freedom to happen. I think that's a key component of anything that's entertaining at all. Like when there's no freedom in it, but once I drop an ounce of some off topic, or not off topic, it's like the most on topic thing you could ever mention the entire time. But I was denounced for that, and I just thought to myself, dang, they really do not like this type of thinking, do they?
No.
They don't like free thinkers.
No, they do. They pretty much do away with critical thought.
Oh, real quick, read the meme. Read the meme.
Yeah. Kids need to go to bed earlier so they aren't tired when they go to school. The school said, kids, get out the card. We're up doing your homework. Then the schools hold up their card. We don't care.
I used to fall victim to this vicious cycle. I used to spend 6 hours doing work every night. It sucked ass. Okay, I'm telling you, it sucked. Like I would basically wake up, go to school, come home, do homework, and go to sleep, and then it would just be that.
Thing is, you get nothing work.
I wouldn't even put it as enough. It's way too much. Any amount is way too much, really.
Well,
And
why
other
not use the
than
spoons?
oh, good. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, why not use the spoons? If they're going to make you do homework, why not make you do it with spoons?
Oh yes,
With
I like to use that type of analogy for some economic arguments. Like people say, "Oh, well, I created jobs." I'm like, "Yeah, I understand you created jobs. That does not help the economy at all. Like creating jobs, like in itself, does not help the economy at all. It's like
You need to have something to produce it with.
And I tell people it's like it's like giving somebody a spoon to dig a ditch that's not even of any use, or actually no, I think I've read something. I think Murray Rothbard actually made an argument like this. Like he said, instead of using heavy equipment for digging into the earth, you could give all of your workers
that was
shovels.
That was Friedman.
Oh yeah. I think okay, yeah. I could.
Which one?
Could have been one of the. I thought
Milton critiquing FDR. When FDR told, okay, you're going to dig a ditch and fill it back up, and gave them shovels. Milton Friedman critiqued that and said, okay, why not give them spoons?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. My jobs.
Oh, Faceless Berserker what's in.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, DM to come in. Well,
Let's see here. If I can move him to
Since we're on public schools, I got a few memes, I think. I'll put them in shit posting.
Well, what's the difference between a public school and
a what?
and a prison?
Nothing. My middle school's
Exactly.
nickname was literally the Purple.
If you look in Romania, they have to keep the windows in place.
Yeah, we have like I don't know. Yeah, actually, there's a lot of surveillance in schools. There's a lot of surveillance. They have security cameras in the hallways at my high school.
Mm-hmm.
We have there's cops. They patrol the school. They can search your bags whenever they want. Really, they indoctrinate students in class. About that kind of stuff. Like, my U.S. government teacher is a little bit lenient about me talking freely in class, but she usually says, "Oh, but we don't have enough time to talk about jury nullification." I'm just like, yeah, but that's like a very important concept to talk about. And then, yeah,
no booyah.
Okay, that
Just to let
second one's
CGP
not very
Gray
good.
talk about it.
Okay, that second meme I put in shit posting, not very good. I mean, still technically true in that they discard the Bible, but the rest I really don't get. But the other two memes, you can read those, Maria.
Yeah, that's interesting. This quote from someone named Ancapistani. People fail to realize public education is part of the military-industrial complex.
Yep, military-industrial complex.
Yeah.
Oh, since this one's from Maryland, that might be more up your alley, Marianne.
Oh, well, good thing I don't live in Baltimore, but from Catherine Pug. Baltimore public schools are broke. We don't even have enough money to heat our classrooms. I'm committing $100,000 to send Baltimore students to protest for gun control in our nation's capital.
And the black man's going, what?
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't even have money to heat the schools, why are you sending it to something that's not going to help?
In Florida, the problem is cooling down the schools. Okay, here's the thing, actually. This is actually very important. So basically, our sales tax increased 0.5% this year, but then they increased it by another whole percent. I don't know where that came from. But anyway, it was effective on January 1st.
Oh, speaking of sales taxes, I used some of the birthday money to purchase a mocha at a local coffee shop.
Mm-hmm.
And I kid you not, there were two sales taxes. One was regular 8 or 9%, something like that, and the other was a smaller percentage, which I'm not making this up, going towards the Indianapolis Colts and their operations in the stadium. Like, what?
What?
That is so stupid. Okay,
Speaking of
private.
Speaking of paying taxes on things,
I mean they're setting I mean, they're sending tax money to a Lucas Oil Stadium. Like, what?
I was about to say like a private private business operations being funded through taxpayer money. It's not even really private anymore. I mean, it's like, oh my god, this is so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I found out about that tax.
Speaking of
tax going. I mean, I found out about that one tax going to fund the cults today. Like,
What cults are being funded from where?
Yeah, Indianapolis Colts, NFL.
Oh, the football team.
Yes.
I thought you said Colts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of taxes on things, 95% of the purchase price, including sales tax, is only for goods.
Anyway, Berserker, you put up a meme about taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If cigarette taxes are meant to discourage smoking, wouldn't income taxes discourage working?
That's one of the ones even boomers can get behind.
True.
Even boomer. Also,
and
I
then
never
when sales taxes be.
Okay. You guys already discussed the tariff taxes that are.
No, not yet. We should talk about the tariffs. We should.
I have a personal story about that. I mailed some books to a friend in the United Kingdom, and I mailed about 8 pounds worth of books. Not their currency, but the weight measurement. And that cost me $77 to ship to the United Kingdom. And I asked the post office lady if there was anything I could do to lower that price. She said no. Over the last 2 years, the tariffs have been driving those prices up for international shipping to all sorts of countries, and the UK is one of them.
Gay.
Yeah.
Discouraging education and economics.
Yeah, it's not fun having to pay that much. Thankfully, the person I was sending to helped split the cost of that, but it's still, that's ridiculous. A few years ago, I could have done that same amount for like $28, which is still a lot, but it's dramatically gone up directly as a result of those tariffs.
Speaking of elevated prices due to government influence, that moment when teachers will keep their prices high because China slaps them with a nice big fat fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a bunch of taxation memes. Someone put bourgeoisie.
That was me. I mean, because you know the AI cops are going to react that way.
Yeah.
From Epic Rap to hear Murray Rothbard versus Mises versus Karl Marx.
Yes.
At a burp.
Yeah, there should be one like that.
Or the Four Schools of Economics Battle Royale.
Texas, the government taking 40% of your lunch. Yeah.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one I put as monstrosity.
Yeah.
The taxation.
Yeah. A nation trying to tax itself into prosperity. Yeah, it's this kind of smart. The snake trying to
All the
eat
while he is
itself.
eating himself.
Yeah.
Of course, it's the Ouroboros.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been having some
That will
stupid.
regulate itself into utopia.
I've been having like some stupid one-sided debate with someone for I don't even know how long, like 2 days now. I don't even know why I'm still talking to them. It was somebody I know, and they just sent me a message saying, I don't want to argue with you about it because I haven't really met a more close-minded person. And if you don't want to see what I have to say, that's just fine, but don't keep dragging it on and on. And I'm like, don't tell me I'm close-minded when you would rather have the police murder me for victimless crimes than leave me alone.
Sargon's law applies.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who still don't know what Sargon's law is, it is those who ascribe traits to their opponent tends to have those more accurately describe them their target.
There's this classic.
Or something to that effect.
What if the NRS really stands for theirs?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just missing the first half of the word. They're just missing the first half of the word.
Mm-hmm.
No, no. IRS, when you put it together, it's there.
Mine. No touchy.
No step on snake.
No step on snake.
Didn't Shane Killian recently do a video about how the Federal Reserve is really an extension of Congress, more or less?
I haven't seen that one.
Because they do take their orders from Congress directly.
Mm-hmm. And all quote-unquote private ownership is ownership in name only.
Yeah. I think we might have exhausted the topics for tonight.
Yeah, I think it's time to say thank yous and taglines. Well, first, I gotta say thank yous. Thank you to Filthy Heretic, Zachary, Cryptarco, since it was his first time here. Faithless Berserker for making a return. Techno, and Thirsty Fox for his brief appearance. Thank you to those who appeared in the live chat: Jesse Armitage, YouTubing Jaguar, Stastic the Fox, Attack Helicopter Cat, Volnost, Crypt, and Anana Paris.
Okay, your tagline first.
Okay, mine first. Scratching the state out of existence. Yeah.
Okay. Y'all know mine. Hey, don't be insane!
I don't have one. I wasn't ready for this.
Are these things mandatory because I didn't think
it's just something fun we do.
Yeah, it's just
All right.
fun.
It's just something fun we do.
Okay.
Taxation is that.
I guess I'm going to.
Mm.